turn to questions. Question number 1, I call on the Honourable Member for Arbory, Castletown and Malew, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I would like to ask the Minister for Policy and Reform if we'll make a statement on free TV licences for people aged 75 and over.
Call on the Minister for Policy and Reform to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Although the PBC's decision not to fund TV licences for over 75s in the island was obviously disappointing, it was not entirely unexpected. As honourable members are aware, the Treasury has agreed to fund TV licences next year for our over 75s who do not receive income support, and the Council of Ministers has endorsed this decision. As I have mentioned in Tynwald last month and the other place last month, following the honourable member's question on this issue, officer-level discussions of scenarios and practicalities had taken place before we knew the decision of the BBC board, and those discussions have continued since the BBC's decision was announced. I can now advise honourable members that we have been able to agree a solution in principle with the BBC and TV licensing that will see all over 75s in the island being issued with a free TV licence by TV licensing for the calendar year 2021, regardless of whether or not they receive income support. The fine detail has been worked out, but I understand that it will be essentially as follows. Firstly, later this month, TV licensing will send the Treasury a schedule of all the households in the island that, according to their records, includes a person aged 75 or over. Treasury will check that data against its own records confirm to TV licensing which households in the island include a person who is over 75 and then eligible for a free licence. TV licensing will send free TV licences to all those who Treasury has confirmed as being eligible in late December or early January. The funding of the free TV licences will then be dealt with between Treasury and TV licensing. So, for the avoidance of doubt, the BBC will fund free TV licences for those residents who are over 75 and in receipt of income support, and Treasury will fund the TV licences next year for our over 75s who do not receive income support. A pensioner who will reach the age of 75 before the end of the year should apply directly to the TV licensing for a free licence. As regards pensioners receiving the age of 75 next year, the pensions team in the Social Security Division of our Treasury will write to them shortly before their 75th birthday to ask if they wish to receive a free TV licensing from TV licensing. If they do, they will be asked to confirm that they are content for Treasury to forward their details to TV licensing, who will then arrange for that person to be sent a free licence. The change from a person applying directly to TV licensing for a free TV licence when they reach the age of 75 to new applications going via our Treasury is so that TV licensing can implement a new standardised system across the Isle of Man, Jersey and Guernsey. Information about the new arrangements will appear on the Isle of Man Government and TV licensing websites in due course.
Supplementary question, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for that detailed answer. Why is the government creating more uncertainty by only guaranteeing free licences until the end of 2021? Isn't this simply an example of kicking the can down the road?
Minister to reply.
No, because next year people will receive free TV licences. Obviously, we can't bind the future administration, but obviously the Tynwald resolution of October 2016 is still in effect, and any change to that policy would require the next administration to come back to Tynwald to seek to amend it.
Supplementary question, Mr Collister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the Minister for his statement. Can you just go through that process again, if possible? Can you just clarify, if a person is over 75, eligible for a free TV licence, do they apply in person as they would normally, and is then the TV licence sent to them automatically? There was just a bit of confusion in respect of what the statement you're actually making. Can we just go through the stages of how an over 75 person obtains a free TV licence in the next year?
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I think it's probably easier if I circulate that information.
Supplementary question, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. In terms of the exact data, this may not be available, but hopefully there'll be some indication. How many of these over 75 free licences does the BBC currently provide, and how many will they provide once the change occurs? Is there any indicative figure?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm slightly confused, and probably you can explain that again, because obviously it's still free TV licences, so the BBC will still be issuing those.
Mr Moorhouse, do you want to clarify the question?
Yeah, just in terms of the number of residents currently receiving the free television licence, do we have the total, and how many going forward? Do we have an indicative figure of how many will receive the licence? Just the difference between now and the future.
I don't have that to hand, but I can circulate that as well.
Mr Callister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I just ask the Minister, when he's circulating that, can you also have a look at a press release in order to ensure that the lessons were learned from the last time we gave free TV licence? There was a lot of confusion about who was eligible, who's not eligible, how they apply, not apply. Can we actually have some proper press release on this in very simple stages of who is eligible, how they apply, just so everybody's very, very clear, because when you're over 75, you know, a lot of them do get confused, and a lot of them will still go into the post office, will still get the stamps every week. Some of them are entitled to it. Can we just make sure that the press release is very, very clear?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought was under the impression there had been a press release, but just to make it clear, a pensioner who reaches the age of 75 before the end of this year should apply directly to TV licensing for free licence. Pensioners next year, the pensions team in Social Security Division of our Treasury will write to them shortly before their 75th birthday to ask if they wish to receive the TV licensing from TV licensing. If they do, they will be asked to confirm that they are happy with the Treasury to forward their details to TV licensing, who will then arrange for a free licence.
Supplementary question, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In terms of the reduction in money provided to the island by the BBC, this change in licensing provision possibly represents over £500,000. In the discussions, will that be focused on, and can we try and recapture that sum to use for the local people, the local provision by the BBC?
Minister to reply.
Thank you. We're in a number of discussions with the BBC about how we can partner and how we can also look at new technologies and new ways of working. I should remind the member, of course, over 70 TV licences now no longer free for those not receiving pension credit or income support across their estate. So we're not unusual in that respect, and I am aware that they are under significant budget cuts. So.
Final supplementary, Mr Callister.
And thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I ask the Minister what meetings he has scheduled for and with the BBC over the next 12 months in order to iron out this issue once and for all?
Minister to reply.
We have general meetings with the BBC on a range of issues, and we've had one recently in the past month, and I expect another one this month. So we're actually, because of the way you can deal with virtual meetings, actually being able to have, we intend to have more meetings and correspondence with the BBC.
Please like and subscribe to the Isle of Man TV channel. Thank you.